Welcome to another video. I hope you've had a good end of year if you're watching this within a week or two of me uploading it, and if not, well, I hope you're doing good nevertheless. Let's get into it. If you're like me and had to do a double take at the fact that Sega is still a company that has the clout to generate headlines, you might also be wondering what about. Well, as with all headlines, it's nothing positive. Sega is the latest among a flurry of different organisations and companies to publicly display their dislike for the private ownership of media and, more specifically, video games. As opposed to people making a one-time purchase, they are taking the quote Netflix subscription route for consumers to download and play their games from a Sega video game exclusive service. In other words, one-time payments are out, extortionate monthly subscription payments are in. There has always been resistance from the consumer base of whatever has taken on the subscription-based model. In fact, I would go as far to suggest that mobile applications found within the App Store and Google Play Store have also fallen for the same ideology that traditional subscription-based services like Netflix are built from. The act of paying for something once and for all is seemingly becoming antiquated, and that it has become both more profitable for the companies and organisations to give their consumers a list of subscription tiers to pay each month, or, in the case of mobile apps, advertisements to watch every time you get all of the words in Wordscape or lose in Candy Crush. And whilst you, as the user, aren't paying a subscription for the app specifically per se, you are still facing a net negative in terms of the quality of service provided to you. But, coming back to the meat and potatoes of this video, the idea that the player must own either a digital or physical copy of their video game in order to play it has been suffering from erosion. Companies like Sony and Microsoft have longed for the days of a subscription-styled system for nearly 2 decades with the implementation of their PlayStation Store and later on Xbox Game Pass. These are storefronts that allow the user to pay cash money for the ability to download a library of free games to play, as well as a rotating event in which different games are put up for download for a limited time. And here's the catch: if you were to, say, stop paying for these services for one reason or another, the games would still be downloaded on your system, of course, but you would be completely unable to play them. And this raises the question, if they can choose whether or not to allow you to play the games you have downloaded whilst subscribed to the service, do you ever really own them? This is a rhetorical question, of course, because, well, at least within Sony's usage agreement, they state that they have the right to remove access to a game whenever they deem it necessary. Some of you may say, well, that makes sense. Pay monthly, you get access to all of the pieces of media, and as soon as you stop paying for it, you lose access. That sounds fair enough, but as with the case with Cyberpunk 2077, if anyone remembers that game, they can remove access to a game you have bought outright with your own money. Your digital games are at the complete mercy of these multinationals, and this extends to movies too, like on Netflix and Amazon. If you buy a film on Amazon and then Amazon decides to take it down and you don't have it downloaded, what's to say they can't just remove it from your library? So, if we look at it through the lens of what these multinational companies and organisations see it through, we can only really own the pieces of media that if we have bought physical copies of it. And what are you seeing less and less of in those physical stores now? Unless you make your way into one of a select few physical stores dedicated to the sale of media products like CEX, GameStop, Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster. It's very unlikely that you'll ever see the sale of a physical copy of an older release video game, movie, TV box set, whatever it is. And this is fueling the ego of these companies to do what they like with both the prices of these subscription tiers they're charging, but also the waning variety of what they offer on these platforms. The era of streaming is upon us, and with that comes a few ideas. If we, as the consumer base, cannot ever outright own our media like we could in years gone, what leg do these publishers have to stand on when it comes to, say, enforcing piracy rulings against the average working class bloke with a sketchy Fire Stick, allowing for those slightly dodgy free streamings? I mean, sure, the company can try and make it out as if piracy is still something that is wrong and that should be punished, but if we never download the products in our, quote, free usage of whatever free sketchy streaming service we decide to use, they can't claim we committed piracy, right? But alas, who wants to simply stream stuff? What if you don't want to do that? What if you just want to own your own media like the good old days? Unfortunately, the future of those who would like this doesn't look too bright, and to be honest, it's looking pretty grim, at least for the average, less technologically inclined consumer. For us who are in the know, we have our methods of making our own copies of certain pieces of media or software if we are so inclined. Indeed, there are some dangers present when we find something we want to torrent or download, a danger that is present when we download anything online, of course, but we have our wits about us and are either able to spot these dangers or mitigate damages if we do indeed fall for their malice. Regardless, it's a shame that it has to come to this. I wouldn't mind buying something like a film or a video game, but there are fewer places to do so. If you want to watch something specific, for example, you almost always need to pay for a subscription on one of a dozen or so different streaming services. Most of these don't even have a download feature. You're just at the mercy of them allowing you to stream it when and where you want to watch it. What if you're going on a large train journey where you might not have data throughout the entire thing? It truly is an apocalyptic thought. The companies and organisations who have the power to change course have already placed their bets. Subscription tiers, streaming, it's all here to stay. Hell, I personally think we are seeing the start of a cloud-based operating system era. A truly, truly apocalyptic future indeed, if you ask me. Don't worry. I'll make an entire video on that topic soon, a little bit of tinfoil hat theories, but stay tuned, it might be interesting. Buying your own copy of something is almost like a special occasion thing, something that is kept to special releases, etc. I, for one, am still a fan of physical media, regardless of the benefits that digital downloads provide. There is just something special about going out, finding a store, buying a game or film, in cash of course, trekking back home and slapping that bad boy in the old DVD-ROM drive or Blu-ray player, whatever it is. What's your opinion on owning media and software? What do you think has enabled the transfer of ownership from the common man to the multinationals? Let your thoughts be known in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this festive video. I hope you've had a good Christmas and are having a fantastic end of year. Here's to your success in 2025. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like it if you really enjoyed it. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in my next video.